Hi, this is Brian. Welcome back to my channel. And happy Easter. You know, the kids, they don't live here anymore. They're gone. It's sad when the kids move away. So I'm out working on the plow today. Today I'm working on the furrow wheel and I'm going to put it back together. And let me show you where I'm at and what decisions I've made so far. So let's just walk around the corner here to the plow. So I took it apart. I was able to get everything apart with the usual heat. I have everything painted, cleaned up, and for now I've put it back together because I want to put the wheel on so I can move the plow. But there's a considerable amount of wear on the spindle shaft, and I think I'm going to deal with that. And by spindle shaft, I mean this shaft. This is an 1.5 OD, and it comes all the way through. Naturally, the hub is somewhere around 1.5 ID, although this one is close to 1.5, and the spindle is worn down on the bottom about 1/8 of an inch. So I might deal with that. For now, it turns nice and free, and it's actually kind of tight, only because I made two felt. They're kind of like dust shields. One in front of this rib that holds the hub inside this container, and one on the back side. I have some number 10 felt here, some F10 felt. That's pretty hard. It's on the border between soft and hard, but it works nice for making. So you can see here I'm tight. I'm pushing pretty hard. It's pretty tight, but only because of that felt and I suppose the grease that I pumped in. And that won't last long out in the field. Adam doesn't want me to do it, but I think I'm going to make a sleeve. And let me show you my process for that. I forgot to do this in the last video. That kind of made me mad, but let me show you how I think through this. Let's walk back to the tail wheel here. Oh gee, what's this? Did the Easter Bunny leave me a Farmall M carburetor? Oh wow, how nice. Good thing I didn't take a bite out of that. It's not chocolate. So here's the tail wheel, and I've made videos on this. You can watch the other videos. But I made a sleeve for this because there was a lot of wear. And what I did, this is what I wanted to show you. I start out like this. I have some pretty decent drafting skills, so I drew up what I had to scale. And then I figured out what size tube, and you can watch the other video and see how I put a tube in this. And I calculated what size the tube needed to be. I was able to get a tube with the correct OD, but the ID had to be altered. And that's what Adam did for me. And that's what I didn't explain very well in the other video. But this tube was bored out, and then the tube slid on the spindle. But this is not an 1.5 spindle. This is something smaller. They used a lot of odd sizes. This spindle on the furrow wheel is much easier. I don't have to draw anything up because it's 1.5 spindle, and my hub is about 1.5 now. So I'll get some 1.75 by 1.5 DOM tubing and just have Adam bore the hub. But this is what I wanted to show on the last video, and this is my process with my drafting skills, and it's how I solve problems and how I solve the problem. Now, one thing I will say, I did not think of those felt dust shields when I did the tail wheel. I just made the felt dust shields on the furrow wheel, and I like those felt dust shields so well, I may take this all apart again and put a dust shield in the tail wheel as well. We'll see. So for today anyways, I have the hub on, I have this retainer on, everything is greased up, the felt dust shields are in place. I really like them. Don't know how long they'll last, but they get soaked with oil and they get pumped full of grease. I suspect they'll last quite some time. I have a gasket ready and the bolts ready, so the next step is just to put the wheel on, and then I'll have a rolling plow. And then I'll talk to Adam about boring this hub for me, and I'll buy a piece of DOM tubing at the local steel supplier. Here's a view of the plow. It's coming along nicely. I have most of the painting done. The hitch is done. Really, all that's left, well, unless I bore that hub, and I'm talking the Furrow one, but the land side needs to come apart, cleaned, painted, and rebuilt by whatever means necessary. And maybe, just maybe, now I'll take the tail wheel back apart. But the coulters are on since last time. Quite a bit of the paint is done. This thing will be ready to plow pretty soon. Well, the question really then is to sleeve or not to sleeve. That is the question. And the sleeve is readily available, somewhat cheap. Adam can bore that hub out, nothing cooking. So I know it's just lawn art. That's what Adam calls it anyways. But I still want it right. If you have any thoughts or comments or suggestions, let me know. This is Brian. Thank you for watching my channel, and happy Easter and happy spring. Goodbye.